Heads up, heads up. They're starting off with a clean slate. We're already dead even with where the fall started in the first place, so we can do whatever we want from here. Yesterday at 9 a.m., for the full hour, we fell all the way down here to the demand zone. I'll show you on the other screen. It's a little busy on that screen, which is why I'm over here. Fell all the way to the demand zone, as you can see over there. Back to MNQ, so it's nice and clean. I've been taking trades all throughout these hours. So pushing down, pushing down, pushing down. Came up through the 200 EMA on the 1 hour. Once we came up through that 200 EMA on the 1 hour with the body of a candle, you could pretty much ride that next candle all the way up, which is why I started at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, riding it to the upside. Then it got, consolidation, 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 but consolidation within the trend is going to be met by continuation. You get the little trick pattern right here, just like you did right there, making you think that it was going back down. But no, it was just pulling down to like a little support area, which is even with, if I put the little line there, even with this right here. So that is an important area that I will mark out by clicking the plus sign, putting this horizontal line for later on. So like this will be my new demand zone starting today, where that support line is and where this meets, and then my demand zone would run just for Friday. Click that. My demand zone would run from here to right here for my starting demand zone. If we head over to NQ, that's pretty much in line with this right here in the 50% retracement. So my demand zone was already there to begin with. And then let's go back to MNQ. But if I was doing it for just this Friday, it would be from here to like up where we are now. So right now we're actually hitting a strong area of resistance. So once we break this line here, oh, baby's crying. Once we break this line here, we'll be going for this higher area right there. But to start the day, because it's already 840 and we're already hitting this resistant area, they can do whatever we want, because now we're back in the range realistically. Stretch this all the way over here. We're back in the range realistically. So like this was 1/3 of the range, this is the second third of the range, and now this would be the upper third of the range, because there's a little bit of a higher level right there. So let me just put the line right here as well so you can see it. So full range, we're just above half of the range, and now we're trying to break to get into the upper part of the range, which will put us back in that 611, 612, and then that'll give us the ability to go back up to like the 613. It's nothing but a $3 push. You guys saw we fell $6 yesterday, $7 yesterday, so it's nothing to get a $3 push back up from where we are now. But look at that massive wick right there on the, what time frame is this? On the 15-minute time frame. You saw we just broke the resistance area. We're trying to push up into the higher areas now. So they're trying to get back to $611 on SPY, basically getting us back to this point right here, 611.50-ish, before the market even opens up. So we'll mark out 611.50, and we're trying to get up to right there. Then a little bit of a gap down that started this fall yesterday, we'll be in a gap up, and we'll be able to push even higher. And like I said, 615 is your next goal. So if 615 is your next goal, it's above all of this resistance that I have right here, meeting this point right there. They like to end on solid numbers, 615, 620. Right now we're right dead in the middle, and that's not to say that today we'll go up to 615, but that's usually where they like to put strong resistance every $5. So like it'll be 615, it'll be 620, 625, etc. Which would, on the 4-hour time frame, no, not this one, on the 1 hour time, which would on the 4-hour time frame for NQ actually put us back towards the all-time high. So there is a much higher area on NQ that we have yet to hit, and that is this area right here. So if we were to go up to like 615 on SPY, that will put us firmly in this 22,400 area. Once we get to that 22,400 area, we're now approaching the all-time highs. Even though SPY is at an all-time high, NQ has not followed it up to the highest point that it's been at. We are at the second highest point that it's been at so far. Click the plus sign, zoom in right here. See, we're at the second highest point that it's been, and then there's another high point right there. So this would be 50% of the upper range right there. So boom, boom, boom. And we are a little bit of ways away from that. We're way down here. So let's say we broke it down in the quarters. We're like a quarter of the way away from this point. We're basically down here. We did come up through the gap, so that was good. We gap down right there. We made our way back up to the gap. You always have to erase these gaps, which is why we had to push back down through the gap. And since we were already down into the gap, they were like, bump it. Let's push this bad boy all the way back down to the 200 EMA for the 4 hour. So we come back up through the 200 EMA. We get, a little bit of resistance there. Then we do it a couple more times. But the reality is that we just kept coming down to the 200 EMA, push down to this white line, come back up. And now we're just firmly living in this area here. So here was Wednesday. We did what? We came down to the 200 EMA for the 4 hour. And then after that, for the swing traders, what's great is like once we get back above that 200 EMA for the 4 hour, you start your swing trade. Look at where you're at now. I don't know how this work for options, how much the money would be or whatever. But if you would have started your swing trade when we broke back up through this 200 EMA for the 4 hour, you're good, because the next day, or not even the next day, because it's really just 2 a.m. until like 10. But that same day at 10 o'clock, we started pushing up. We would pull it back right there. So let's say you get in right here. What time is this? This is 2 o'clock in the morning on Thursday. So let's say you missed out on 2 o'clock from Wednesday and you get into 2 o'clock Thursday. Same thing. You're still pretty much at the 200 EMA for the 4 hour. That last little pullback giving you an ability to get in, and then you can just ride that thing forever. For those of us who trade futures, we were able to. And let's just go to one future contract that same day. Let's put in $698. So yeah, about $700 from here to here on Thursday when the market closed. Open back up. So it's about a $600 day from just that one contract. But in reality, we've been getting a lot more than that. I'm in the wrong stock. I'm in micros. I mean to do this in minis. So in minis, I was gonna say something's wrong with that amount. That should be like 6,000. One contract just that day, $6,000. Just from the pullback at 2:22. Let's go 2 o'clock in the morning, 6 a.m. Just from the pullback at 6 o'clock in the morning, we'll even go up a little bit higher. We'll start with the bodies of the candles right here. You're still at $4,900 by the time you reach this zone. You're at $5,700 by the time you reach the top of the supply zone. And then that pullback would get out pretty much anybody who was positive at the time once we pulled back to here. So let's say you pulled all the way back and you got uncomfortable. You still made $5,000 off one contract just off taking your trade from the 200 EMA. And if you take it from the 200 EMA like you're supposed to, you're at $6,000 by the time we reach the supply zone. Of course, for M&Q, you're at $600 by the time we reach the supply zone. So just taking it from the white line, which is support line, up to this area right here, $616, one contract. And you're going from 10 o'clock the previous night, because it's supported by this area right here, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, basically taking the same trade. You could have fell asleep, then it'd be like 6 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and then 6 o'clock in the afternoon. So that's market close right here. So you'd be at $500 for the day. When the market reopens, let's say you get in off of the pullback, we pull back to right here. We're going up towards the band zone. You get yourself another $200 off of one micro. But that's it. Like I said, we're at $611 right now. We were at $610.70 when I started this conversation. We're trying to get to this gap right here. We get to this gap that allows them to move the market in whatever direction they want to. Now we will have to recess and pull back down to like this area right here, maybe even this area right here where this dual line support is. We will have to pull back down to this support area at some point in time today, because we just ran up overnight mostly, and they want to give the options traders a chance to get in, but we're exactly where we need to be to shoot this thing through the roof. But you guys have a nice day. Happy hunting out there.